This video is brought to you by Answerly, a question platform that pays you for adding high-quality answers on different questions. The users are rewarded in Answerly tokens, which they can easily convert into dollars or any other cryptocurrency by using one of the exchanges mentioned in the description.
The PS5 is officially the fastest-selling console in US history despite being plagued by restock problems that have led to many potential buyers not being able to get their hands on one. With the PS5 becoming one of the, if not the, most popular and desired consoles, it has become an interest of the masses to look for games that they could play on it should they manage to snag one in their hands in the future. Hello and welcome to our YouTube channel. In today's video, we'll be talking about 15 new upcoming single-player PS5 games of 2022 and 2023. If you're new here, make sure to smash that like button, subscribe to our channel, and hit that notification bell to get the updates whenever we post. Here are 15 in no particular order upcoming PS5 games to watch out for. Let us begin with God of War Ragnarok. The God of War franchise has been one of the most well-known franchises out there, so it doesn't come as a surprise when Santa Monica Studio, the company behind the God of War series, announced that they would be releasing a new God of War sometime next year. The premise of the game will be set 3 years after the events of the previous game. The freezing winds of Fimbulwinter have come to Midgard, making survival for Kratos, Atreus, and Mimir in the Norse wilds even more challenging than before. As the threat of Ragnarok grows ever closer, Kratos and Atreus find themselves choosing between the safety of their family and the safety of the realms. Hogwarts Legacy. Hogwarts Legacy is an open-world adventure that will take players into the Harry Potter universe, allowing them to explore within and beyond the castle walls of the famous magical school. While many of the locations in Hogwarts Legacy will be familiar to the fans of the series, familiar faces will be few and far between. That's because rather than delving into the timeline of the books and films, Hogwarts Legacy will take players back to the 1800s to tell its own story within the magical world. Forspoken. Forspoken will have players take on the role of Frey, a fairly ordinary young woman from New York City, which was suddenly transported to the magical world of Athea. She must harness her magical powers to survive and find her way back home. Stray. During the gameplay reveal, Stray's main character can be seen platforming across rooftops while using items to solve puzzles. For instance, the cat uses a bucket to stop a deadly spinning fan blocking his path. Aside from platforming and puzzle solving, Stray will also feature action-packed segments, though don't expect to have fast-paced combat. Instead, the cat will need to run away from enemies and use the environment to defeat them. In the trailer, the main character uses a cart to run over the deadly enemies in a swift motion. Ghostwire Tokyo. Ghostwire Tokyo is a PS5 console exclusive that you won't want to miss. It's an otherworldly mystery and ghost hunting adventure from Tango Gameworks, the studio responsible for breathing new life into the survival horror genre with The Evil Within. In Ghostwire Tokyo, you'll have to take on neon-lit streets and battle against the visitors, masked apparitions that are taking credit for the disappearance of Tokyo's population. Little Devil Inside. Little Devil Inside is a unique-looking title set in a kind of fantasy world with dragons and other mystical creatures. The story follows Billy, a young hero for hire handling side jobs in the idyllic countryside. Only after a job goes wrong, Billy's whole life turns upside down. The Lord of the Rings, Gollum. Taking on the role as Gollum, you'll get a taste for what it's like to be the classic fictional character, with climbing abilities, stealth-based tactics, and responses to feed into the different sides of his personality. Decisions you make along the way will impact the fragile balance between his Gollum side and his Smeagol side. With a first look at gameplay, we know the story will follow Gollum when he was a slave before the Dark Tower to his experiences with the Elves of Mirkwood. Pragmata. Pragmata is a game revolving around a little girl and a person in an astronaut suit. The aforementioned child doesn't appear to be human, as she can breathe in space and do some strange stuff with her eyes. The Earth as we know it seems to have collapsed and is surrounded by some sort of technology encompassing the sky above. The Callisto Protocol. Callisto intergalactic survival horror takes place 300 years in the future, set in 2320. This adventure is set on a Jupiter moon humankind has never set foot on, Callisto. The game revolves around horrific creatures and a conspiracy unfolding on the moon Callisto's dingy and dangerous black iron prison. With only a teaser and a handful of interviews to go on, story details are light so far, yet what we do know is that the game will be third-person and story-driven. Dying Light 2. Taking place 20 years after the events of the first game and 15 years after the apocalypse, Dying Light 2 introduces a new protagonist, Auden Caldwell, who is an infected survivor, best of both worlds, eh? Seeking to uncover the truth about his past and find his sister, a search that leads him into the city. It's up to the player whether Auden focuses on his own goal or decides to help rebuild the city. Horizon Forbidden West. Horizon Forbidden West continues Aloy's story as she moves west to a far future America to brave a majestic but dangerous frontier, where she'll face awe-inspiring machines and mysterious new threats. The Forbidden West is the Kaja name given to the land west of the Daunt. This uncharted region is known for its mystery and danger, as few people who ventured there have ever returned in one piece. Elden Ring. Elden Ring has the feels of a Dark Souls game, but From Software are pulling a few new tricks too. Elden Ring will have an open world ripe for exploration, but we should expect the Souls DNA to be very much intact. The game world and lore aren't entirely FromSoft's own creation this time around. Game of Thrones author George R.R. Martin collaborated with the game developers early on to help create the setting. That means it's almost certainly going to be bleak as hell, and we're already looking forward to the flavor text. Marvel's Midnight Suns. Marvel's Midnight Suns is a new tactical RPG set in the darker side of the Marvel Universe. The story for Marvel's Midnight Suns centers around Lilith, Mother of Demons, and also the mother of the player character, the Hunter. You've been resurrected by the Avengers and the Midnight Suns because you're the only one here to have ever beaten Mommy Dearest, and they need to stop her before she can summon her master, the demonic Shaitan. Gran Turismo 7. Gran Turismo 7 is a racing game with a focus on immersion, featuring real car models accurately recreated to make any vehicle junkie happy. Polyphony Digital intends to give players a convincing simulation of a roaring engine as they race through gorgeous environments at breakneck speeds. Starfield. Bethesda has revealed nothing specific about the way Starfield plays. Howard has said it is something we feel uniquely positioned to pull off. Given the studio's pedigree, this suggests that while Starfield is headed to space, it still has its feet planted in the RPG genre. The game takes place 20 years after the factions, the United Colonies, and the Freestar Collective have made peace after the bloody Colony War. There's still a lot of unrest within the universe though, and pirates, violent spacers, and a religious group all pose a threat. Auden Chronicle 100 Heroes. Auden Chronicle Rising is a town-building action RPG set in the same world as Auden Chronicle. It weaves together the pre-war tales of various characters who will eventually become your companions in the Auden Chronicle. The game will introduce a portion of Auden Chronicle's cast of characters in an original story with thrilling action and engaging town-building elements. Babylon's Fall. The co-op title is developed by Platinum Games and can be played solo or with up to 4 players. Their powers and customization is also based on special equipment called the Gideon Coffin worn on their backs. Players will have to team up tackling challenging dungeons in an attempt to scale the titular tower. Well, there you have it, the 15 upcoming PS5 games that you'd be looking forward to. What type of games would you like to see in the new console? Are there more games that you would like to share? Let us know your thoughts down in the comment section down below.
If you like this video, make sure to smash the like button and subscribe to this channel. To learn more about Answerly and Answerly tokens, check out the links in the description.